everyone, it's Ms. Schumacher with our lesson for today. We're going to focus in on equivalent fractions and applying them with adding and subtracting unlike denominators. Now the first thing we want to focus in on, what is an equivalent fraction? Equivalent fractions are two fractions that, even though they look different, they represent the same amount. And here's how we use them with our adding. So if we had here one circle where it was broken up into halves, and we had 1/2 shaded in. And we wanted to know how much we had if we had a second circle with 3/4 shaded in. And halves and fourths are not the same size things. We need to make them the same size so that we're adding the same type of thing. If I was to simply take my halves and break it up into fourths, now I still have the exact same amount I had before, but instead they're in smaller pieces. It's no different, it's still the same. So then I would add my numerators to get 5 and 5/4 or 1 and 1/4. Again, if we had something like this, had a bar that was broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we had a second bar that instead of being broken up into 6, was broken up into 12s. And I had 3, 6 shaded in there. But here, I had 6 12s. It's the same amount. It's just the size pieces that are different. But you need more of the 12 size pieces to equal the 6 pieces, which is why it's 6 12s compared to 3 6. But they are exactly the same thing. Now let's talk about them when we use them with our adding fractions. We started first, we focused in on money, because money we knew was out of 100. And we talked about, okay, we have pennies, that you need 100 of them. We talked about half dollars that you'll use that are 50 cents each. We talked about how 4 quarters that are 25 each equals 100. Five times 20 gives us 100. And 10 times 10 gives us 100. All of these are different ways to break down money amounts that turn it into equivalent fractions. So for example, let's say we had 2/5 plus 3/4. And because we know we can both turn them into money, our new denominator is going to be 100. So I say, okay, 5 times 20 is what gives me 100. So now I'm going to say 2 times 20, which is 40. Same here. 4 times 25 gives me the 100. So 3 times 25 is 75. So now I'm just adding all the hundredths together. 40 and 75 is 115, or 1 and 15 hundredths. So again, that's just using our common denominator to make the equivalent fractions. Working with 100. Again, it's just an easy one because most of us are used to working with money. When you take a nickel and a dime and you add them together, you make it all into cents, or 15 cents total. The second one we talked about in class, we talked about clocks, and we used it in the context of that there's 60 minutes in an hour. So if we were to take the clock hand going around one whole time, there's 60 minutes in there. Which means now if I think about what are the ways that I can multiply to get to 60. So all of these numbers can be converted into that 60. So for example, if I had 9/10 plus 1/3. Okay, I'm going to turn both of them into denominators of 60. So 10 times 6 is 60, which means I'm going to do 9 times 6, which is 54. And 3 times 20 is 6. So 20 times 1. And again, that 60 is going to stay because, again, we've turned these into the same size pieces. We've turned them into groups of 60. And then we would get 74 or 1 and 1460 is 14 minutes of another group of 60. So with adding and subtracting fractions and focusing on adding today, you have to find that common denominator first before you can actually add them. You have to make them the same size piece. Now, let's say you have a number that doesn't go into. Let's say you have a fraction like 2/8 plus 1/3. Yeah, I could change this into clocks, but I can't change this into clocks. I can't change this into money. I can't change that into money. So I have to find a number that works for both. And the easiest way to go is say, well, what's 8 times 3? Well, that's 24. So use 24 as your new denominator. 8 times 3 is 24. So 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. So 1 times 8. It works exactly the same way. So you can just multiply those denominators and find a common one together because it's those shared factors. So one more time, let's say we had 5/9 plus 2/4. Okay, can't turn the 9 into clocks, into the 60 or into money, even though I could do it for 4. If I can't do it for both of them, I can't use it. 100 works for 4, but it doesn't work for 9, so I can't use it. 40 works for 4, but doesn't work for 9. I can't use it. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, well, 9 times 4 is 36. So I'll just use that as my new denominator. 9 times 4 is 36, so 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 9 is 36, so 2 times 9 is 18. And then I get 38/36, which gives me one full group of 36 and 2 left over. Hope that helps you out today on your work. Again, fractions is a big thing in 5th grade that you really need to have mastered by the end of this 5th grade time. If you have any questions, you know where to get a hold of me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.